Brandon Turner, the GOAT of real estate investing, said that everybody should house hack. But you're sitting there saying, well, I don't want to live with roommates, but I'm married, but I've got a family and I've got kids. And I'm here to tell you that hard truth here, guys, that's just a vague excuse. That's just you telling yourself that you don't want it bad enough. I know how people house hack as single folks. I know how people house hack who are married. And I know how families can house hack because I've got a wife, I've got a kid, I've got a dog, I've got one on the way, and we are still house hacking. So today I'm going to share with you how no matter what stage of life you are in, you can house hack. And quite honestly, here in Bryan-College Station, you can house hack pretty comfortably. So stay tuned because this should open your eyes to how you can grow your wealth by using the oh so powerful strategy of house hacking. This channel is investing in Bryan-College Station, Texas, where it is our goal to grow your wealth through real estate right here in Aggieland. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I will drop a new video every single week about this very specific topic of getting wealthy through real estate. If you don't know who I am, my name is Greg Schwartz. I'm a Marine Corps helicopter pilot turned real estate investor. Along the way, I got my real estate license, and along the way, I started house hacking. And I've been helping folks just like you buy, sell, and invest and house hack here in Aggieland for the last almost 6 years. So I'm going to share with you how I would house hack no matter what stage of life you're in. And we're going to start off with one of the most versatile stages of life, and that is being single. There are at least 25 different ways that you can house hack. And I know that because I asked the almighty ChatGPT and it gave me a list of all 25. If you want that list, down in the description below, there's a link, click the link, and you will get the PDF that will open your mind to all the possibilities for house hacking. Check it out. If you're someone who's single, you have a superpower that nobody who is married has. My guess is that you're probably also early on in your investing career, so this is a perfect opportunity for you. That superpower is you can do whatever you want. Don't believe me? Go ask one of your married friends. They will say the same thing. If you're single, you can do whatever you want. We as married folks don't have that ability. We've got 2 people voting in that relationship, and really I got like 1 vote. She's got like 2. So if you're single, you can buy any piece of property you want and monetize it. Most of my single clients, most of the people I work with, most of the investors I talk to go the route of buying a single family house. Why a single family house? Well, it's one of the cheapest options, it's one of the easiest turnkey options, and if all we're trying to do is maximize the income, the idea of buying a 4-bedroom house and filling it with 3 roommates, well, for one, you're probably doing that right now if you're renting. And 2, it's pretty easy to find roommates at your demographic, young and single, making some assumptions here. So let's say you bought a $300,000 4-bedroom house in Bryan-College Station. It cost you about $2,000 to $2,200 a month. Fill that full of roommates at $600 a room. All of a sudden, you're bringing in $1,800. You're out of pocket $200 to $400 on a $300,000 house that is appreciating every year here in Bryan-College Station by about $15,000. Oh, and the kicker is you used an FHA loan, so your down payment was 3.5% on $300,000 is just shy of $11,000. Let's break that down again. You spent $11,000. Your house appreciates by $15,000. Your monthly payment is around $2,200, and your renters, your friends, your roommates are paying you $1,800 a month, so you're only out of pocket $400 a month. Whew! That's the power of house hacking. That's why, as a single person, I highly recommend going that route. Another really good option is a duplex. Similar price point, generally needs a little bit more love, but we're talking about $250,000 to $300,000 for a duplex, 2 bedrooms per side. So again, you're going to end up with 4 bedrooms, and this just gives you a little bit more privacy. Maybe you only want 1 roommate and you want a wall between you and the other 2 folks. So then a house hack with a duplex would be a pretty good idea. But again, literally, you could house hack your truck and just have somebody sleep on the passenger side, you sleep on the driver's side, split the cost, you're off to the races. Because you're single. Do whatever you want. Some of us, though, end up getting married. And then there's another half of this relationship that has a vote. And sometimes you have to make compromises. I'm guessing if you're married right now, you're thinking, Greg, I couldn't fill a 4-bedroom house with 3 roommates. My wife or my husband would not allow that. And I get it. I have worked with plenty of house hackers who were married. This is what we found for them. The duplex is a better option because that wall between you and your tenants gives you a level of privacy. If you're married right now, I would consider either one of those 2-bedroom duplexes, 2 bedrooms per side, right around $250,000 to $300,000. Or if you want to step it up, if you want a little bit more space, if you want to feel like you have your own place, they have 3-bedroom, 3-bath duplexes per side here in College Station and in Bryan. These are going to cost you $375,000 to $425,000. Your monthly mortgage will be around $3,500 to $3,800 per month, and one side of these duplexes can rent for $1,700 to $1,800. Yes, you are not decreasing your cost of living nearly as much as the single person, but in this case, you have 1,300 to 1,400 square feet of your own place. You share only one wall with one other group of renters. You have a $400,000 appreciating asset at 5% per year. You're talking about $20,000 of appreciation. And again, you're using an FHA loan to buy it, so $400,000, 3.5%. You're talking about a down payment of $12,000, $13,000, $14,000. That's not too bad. And still better that you're paying $1,800 a month and owning an asset than paying $1,800 a month to rent a single family house. So a really good option if you want to step it up a notch. If your spouse is on board like my wife was, which, Rachel, thank you so much for letting us do this. We bought a 4-plex, lived in one of the units, and rented out the rest. The reason I don't always recommend 4-plexes to my single folks is they get a little bit more expensive, so they can be hard to finance. 4-plexes start at $400,000 these days, so you have to have a lot of income to afford one. But if you're married without kids, you have dual income, no kids. We call that DINK. Dual income, no kids, and you can take all that income to get pre-approved for this 4-plex. That's what we did. A $400,000 4-plex, now you've got a total of 8 bedrooms, right? 2 per unit. Each unit will rent out for around $1,000. You're bringing in $3,000. Again, your out-of-pocket is probably around $3,500 to $4,000. So it's going to cost you less than $1,000 to live in and own a 4-plex that appreciates again at about $20,000 a year. So not a bad deal. You can hunt around and find a cheaper 4-plex and maybe even get that cost down by buying your interest rate down. We were able to do it to where we were living for free by finding an off-market 4-plex. So it is doable. All right, well, now you're thinking, Greg, but I don't have just one voting member of my house. I've got a second one because I'm married with kids. And guess what? I'm married with kids, and as much as I don't want to admit it, that little 3-year-old does have a say in what our family does and how we live. I want her to have a very comfortable lifestyle, right? As a parent, we want to provide for our kids, and the idea of moving my daughter into a 4-plex so that I can grow my wealth, I don't love that, and you probably don't either. But I continue to house hack despite that. What we did is we bought a single family house. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath on a half-acre lot, 2-car garage, granite, the tile. It's got all the stuff that we would want in a nicer single family house, but it has a room with an exterior entrance, a room that we can lock off from the rest of the house, and we started renting that out when we bought this house. We still rented it out for the last 3 years while we had our daughter. We still rented it out while my wife was pregnant. That room makes us about $8,000 a year. That's not a ton of money, but if you think about it, that's roughly $700 a month. My current mortgage is $3,200 a month. So I'm taking a huge chunk, almost a quarter of my mortgage is being decreased because I'm willing to rent out a guest bedroom. Another really good option that a lot of my clients like to go after is a house with an ADU, because an ADU is usually separated. Think of this is a additional dwelling unit, a garage apartment, something like that. Now this separate house is on your land, right? It's on your lot, but it's separated. So you don't share anything with them except for maybe a yard, no different than having a neighbor who's a little too close. So in Bryan and College Station, you can find some older houses and honestly some not so old houses that have garage apartments or guest houses. And again, you can live similar to how I do, where your monthly payment might be $3,000, $4,000, or even $5,000. Heck, if you wanted to buy $1 million house, your mortgage payment might be $7,000. But that garage apartment can bring in $1,000 or $2,000, still drastically offsetting your mortgage expense and ultimately lowering your cost of living so you can live a more luxurious lifestyle. You can give that experience to your kids of owning a single family house, growing up the way you want them to grow up, and still have additional income. So as you can see, no matter where you're at in life, you can find a way to house hack. The important part is to be creative. But you might be thinking, Greg, in all these scenarios, I'm still not living for free. I thought the intent of a house hack is to live for free. And it's true. It is harder to live for free now. And really, in my mind, the intent of a house hack is to decrease your cost of living. But if you want to live for free, there is a way to do that as well. I recommend using Airbnbs. You see, house hacking, your neighbor, your house, your investment, it's right next to you. So it makes it very easy to run what is otherwise a more hands-on investment strategy known as short-term rentals or mid-term rentals. But if it's right next to you, you can very easily Airbnb that unit. And if you Airbnb the unit, you can almost double the income. And again, you don't have much additional expenses. Clean it yourself. You have some additional utility expenses, a couple $100, and you might have to furnish it, right? That can cost some money. But my point here is, if you do want to live for free and you really want that experience of house hacking so you have no housing expense, buy that duplex, Airbnb the other side. Buy the house, Airbnb it out during game day weekends. Buy the fourplex, turn it into a mini hotel, and Airbnb the other 3 units. Airbnb is a great way to increase your income enough that you can offset your entire mortgage expense, your utilities, everything. So, in summary, let's figure out how you can house hack no matter what your living situation is. Shoot, if you're trying to find $1 million house, I will find you $1 million house in the neighborhood of your dreams with a garage apartment that you can rent out. Let's do it. Challenge me right now. Tell me why you can't house hack. Let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best to provide a solution to you right here in Aggie Land. Guys, all I ask is in return, you go down below, you hit the subscribe button, you hit the like button, and until next week when I drop our next video, you take it easy.